The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. Teach me your way, O Lord. Lead me on a straight path. Hi everyone, and welcome back to April's Homemade. I'm April, and I am a blessed mama of 9 children and a wife of 17 years. Thank you so much for joining me today. This channel is all about Christian homemaking, motherhood, homeschooling, and everything in between. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you will hit that thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and let's just jump right into another homeschooling day. After I made my bed, I came out here to check on everybody. Anna is now 8 months old, and she is really getting the hang of crawling forwards now instead of just backwards. I am going to check on the girls, see how they're doing with their room this morning. Do you see this? So it's kind of dirty right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you clean that part of your room for me today?
Yes, ma'am. But I'll do it after I clean my room. No problem.
Okay, great, thanks. Children often do not see the messes that we see, so I try to slowly point out little things to my kids to help them understand more and more about what cleanliness looks like. When I was younger, I used to work for a steakhouse as a server, and they taught us the importance of, they called it crumbing the table. And basically what that means is every time you come to the customer's table, you grab any of their trash, you take any plates they're done with, you use one hand to sweep crumbs into the other hand, and you are just constantly clearing their table. Well, I've learned to do this in my kitchen with my countertops, or any room in your home. You want to crumb the table. You want to just constantly be clearing the surfaces and doing little bits of cleanup all throughout the day so that it does not become overwhelming, and so that you can enjoy your home and it can be a peaceful working and learning environment for you and your kids as a homeschooler and a homemaker. You want, your home is the place where you spend most of your time. If you are a homemaker or a homeschooler or both, you want your home to be enjoyable. And this is one way that will help you do it. Now, my boys are doing a good job just getting their school done, and I am starting some chicken in my Dutch oven because I want to be on top of dinner. So I think about dinner as one of the first things I'm going to handle in the morning. I want to have it already on its way so that it doesn't become a burden to me later. And sometimes it does become a burden to me later, and I just couldn't get it started in the morning, and that's okay. But I am really thankful because I've got my chicken going on the stove, and I'm going to make some rolls because my husband loves for the rolls to just keep coming. So I make those anytime, day or night, and try to have them always available. I had my chicken on high. I started it on high, and then once it really got going, I turned it to low so that it doesn't burn, and I can just leave the lid on and let it cook for a long time. Now, I wanted to tell you about my bread dough reserve here. I have really been playing around with it and just kind of learning what tastes the best. And I have actually been leaving my bread dough out for the night on the counter for the first rise, and then when I shape it into rolls, I will also just leave it on the counter until I'm ready to bake it. It could be several hours, but I have really been extending the first rise and the second rise in time, and the bread tastes a lot more fermented, and it is really great tasting. So I'm telling you that because I want to say don't be afraid to just experiment and figure out what tastes the best for you and your family. I also set out some cream cheese and butter because we want soft butter for our rolls later. And the cream cheese, I need it softened for dinner. Here I am back in the laundry room. I sometimes call it my office because I spend quite a bit of time in here. I can't let it pile up partly because we need clothing, but also because this laundry room is pretty small for our size family, and I can't let it get out of hand in here. But that's good. That's good that I can't let it get out of hand. I don't have the space for dirty clothes to pile up. And I actually don't like to keep dirty clothes in my kids' rooms. They do not have dirty laundry baskets. They carry their dirty clothes in here because I have found that their rooms just smell nice and fresh if we do not keep dirty clothes baskets in their rooms. Now, maybe if you are super quick about grabbing your kids' dirty clothes, it's not a problem, but this is what works for us. Now I want to show you my command center that I have in the hallway. It's really just where we jot down things that we need to be thinking about. I do not really prefer calendar whiteboards. I like just big blank dry erase boards. That helps me just do whatever I want to do with it. One of the easiest ways to meal plan is to take meal suggestions, because children are so good at thinking up meals that they love, and they just have so much more space left in their minds than we do as the mamas, right? It can be very hard to really think about what you're going to have for dinner this week. So use that to your advantage. Take meal suggestions. The other thing that I really like to do is I will jot down the meals I'm going to have this week, but I will not assign days to them, because that actually seems to complicate things. It gives you more to think about which can be difficult, just go to the store, buy what you need for these 5 or 6 meals, and then you can decide what day you want to make these things based on what you know is going to be happening that week. And I will just tell you, I often decide which meal I'm going to make on the day I'm going to make it, because I realize, you know what, our day was too full and I've got to make something faster. Or maybe, you know what, today's the day I have the time to make the recipe that's a bit more complicated. So do not let needing to assign a day to each meal slow you down. You actually don't need to assign a day. Just jot down 5 dinners that your family can have this week. Make it simple.
Take up my trust and follow the sun. Take up my cross and follow the sun.
After getting several things done, I could tell the littlest girls needed me to sit down with them and just kind of talk a little bit and sing a little and have some sweet time with them. When I was newer to motherhood, I used to kind of put this off, and I thought that I was kind of lazy to take breaks and sit on the couch, you know, because I had all these things I wanted to do and to get done for the day, and I might try to put these little ones off, and, you know, but this is largely the joy of motherhood, is all of those moments in between doing all of the chores and the homeschooling and cooking and cleaning. All of these moments in between are often the times that our children remember. So it is not only the joy of motherhood, but it is the joy of childhood. And our children long to be with us. They long to have conversations with us. And, you know, sometimes we do have to get something done, and that is okay. But we have to stop and smell the roses along the way, because time really does get away from us. We can spend our lives toiling away, and we can also have a problem with laziness, and we can be lazy and not spend time with our kids too. But we've got to find that balance. And so be diligent in your home, but also keep your children near you. Take a break just to sit and talk to them and be with them. After some quality time on the couch, we had lunch, and now I am making some corrections on the boys' schoolwork. I filled up a bottle with some ice cubes for Anna to play with while I do that. I have said this before, but in our homeschooling, we put a strong emphasis on Bible, math, and reading. Each day, my main goals are that my children would read the Word of God. They typically do 2 math lessons per day. They will do some handwriting, and we might do some extra things regarding that. We do like to do our 24 Family Ways book that I introduced on our afternoon routine video. And I love to have some worship time with them. But if your children have read the Word of God and they have exercised their minds with math, and they have done some handwriting and reading, they have done a lot, and you have done a lot. And so do that, and then if there's extra time, do some other things, because the Bible is reading, it's history, it is knowledge and wisdom. And the most important part of their education is that they would know God, and that they would love Him, and that they would love others. Anna was getting sleepy, so I changed her clothes and her diaper so she could get nice and comfy, and she could go down for a nap in her bed. You wanna go be?
Yeah.
Okay. After the littlest girls went to bed, I did my Bible reading with the boys. Okay, I'm gonna make some apple bread for our breakfasts, and I just want to show you the ingredients here in case you would like to make it. My kids love this bread, and you basically just mix all the ingredients together and bake it in the oven at 350 for 1 hour. Anna woke up from her nap, and so I am actually feeding her some yummy apple crisp that a friend made. They came over and brought that, and so I'm just letting her have some of that as a snack. And I'm going to butter my loaf pans, because if I don't do it right now, I will absolutely forget before I pour my bread batter in. So don't forget to butter your pans. While I was making the apple bread, my husband walked in, and that is always just instant joy for me. It always has been. And when my husband walks in, I feel hopeful that I might get to spend time with him. And I don't always get to, but I at least get to see him for a minute. Right now, he is actually leaving to go take care of something for our church. And you know, my husband is not employed by our church, but he does work for our church. And that is an honor and a privilege to be called by God to labor in the church. And we shouldn't shy away from it. You know, the church is the bride of Christ, and she needs to be cared for. But there is also a balance in it. Every man is the pastor of his little church, which is his family. And we have to pray for discernment in this area. You know, it is good for the family to see the father working in the church and being a big part of the church. That's a blessing. But we also have to make sure that we are balancing this well. And one of the ways that we as women serve the church often in the best way is really just to let our husbands go and serve while we tend to the home. And that can be a hard thing. You know, we don't always want to get left behind. But we will be blessed. You know, the Lord sometimes calls us to it. And we need to pray for discernment so that we know when to stay and when to go. After me and Anna made the apple bread, we went outside and just enjoyed the weather that has gotten a bit warmer lately. And you know, there is a bit of a sadness when my husband gets off work and he's got to go do something else. And that's only because we just love him and enjoy spending time with him. But it always helps to just go outside, have a little fun out there, see the sunshine. I am so thankful for this warmer weather and that spring is on the way. Sarah even found some bluebonnets, and last year our yard was full of bluebonnets, and I am praying for that again. We are so blessed to have so much hope and so much love from the Father. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And if you have not subscribed already, I hope you will. And I will see you real soon.